behalf of GRULAC. I thank you.
Gracias, señor.
Thank you, distinguished representative. I now proceed to the next speaker, and I hope I pronounce it properly, because when I read it yesterday, it didn't come out right. Kyrgyzstan, His Excellency Mr. Muktar Djumaliev, Ambassador, Permanent Representative of Kyrgyzstan to UNESCO. You have the floor.
Thank you. Chairman of the Executive Board, President of the General Conference, Madam Director General, distinguished colleagues, Salmat Darbe. The COVID crisis put at risk the development gains of many developing countries. Pandemic has tested most of the international instruments in social, cultural, and economical spheres. Migrant workers, their families, and people with disabilities felt most of the worst scenarios of the pandemic and felt hardly in access to the education and health infrastructure. Interlinked, our economies deeply affected populations in many vulnerable rural mountainous areas and provokes further social difficulties. We appreciate the G20's initiative and the leadership of France on debt postponement for vulnerable countries. We believe that UNESCO may also call for debt relief programs to achieve SDG, especially in the education sector. We appreciate the active role of UNESCO and personal leadership shown by Director General Madame Audrey Azoulay during the pandemic period with the number of initiatives. The Kyrgyz Republic supports UNESCO's initiatives, including, but not limited to, no teacher or student should be left behind, translate a story, generating extra budgetary funds from the World Bank, IMF, regional banks, governments, and public and private donors. We support initiatives undertaken to help cultural sector to keep adapting, responding to the challenges brought by the pandemic. These efforts need to be continued to stimulate social and economic support measures, including the development of innovative tools linked to new technologies. We welcome UNESCO efforts to strengthen inclusive multilateralism to ensure that no country is left behind SDG goals. It is important to take into account the need of countries which have the same obstacles in getting integrated to a new distance learning and digital technologies in educational process, especially in the mountainous regions, which lacks access to telecommunications infrastructures. Thus, we are very much interested to benefit from UNESCO initiative called Global Coalition for Education. Due to the growing number of these days of the cases of family violence in the world, the programs for education of girls aiming to prevent the violence against women is needed to be taken into a very special attention by UNESCO. Mr. Chairman and board members, we should not forget about the environmental problems caused by global climate change. Recently, the UN Secretary General emphasized the importance in difficult conditions of the global pandemic of continued attention of countries to the problems of nature conservation and biodiversity. We have in Kyrgyzstan the mountain peak called UNESCO, which is 5,000 meters high, named after the visit of UNESCO Director General Mr. Matsura to Kyrgyzstan in 2006. I believe the Director General may give a start to the expedition of UNESCO peak in the near future. The Kyrgyz Republic expresses concern over the present situation in the field of climate change, environmental protection, preservation of biodiversity, earth and environmental security. In this regard, the Kyrgyz Republic introduced the draft resolution to the 75th General Assembly of the UN called Nature Knows No Borders. Transboundary cooperation is a key factor in the conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity. The main goal is to preserve the world's biodiversity, which provides urgent collaborative steps and measures to ensure future generations of our countries with clean, green and safer environment. We encourage all parties to support the above-mentioned initiative. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gracias, señor.
Thank you, Ambassador. Madam Rosa Karlikovska.